Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Haley. I'm a cashless budgeter, recent graduate, and caregiver who's working on her relationship with finances as well as working towards financial freedom. If that's something you're interested in watching, please leave a like, comment, subscribe down below, and let's get into the video. Hey guys, so happy March. You'll be seeing this in March. March is also my birthday month, so happy birthday to all the March babies out there, all the preemie babies out there, all the Pisces out there. Even though Pisces season technically started in February. Whatever. Happy birthday to all you guys. For this video, I wanted to introduce a new binder that will be in rotation in my budget starting technically now, end of February, beginning of March on forward. And in order to do that, I also have to introduce Happy Mail. So I won a giveaway from Alexis at Dying Outlaw Games and Budgets. I will leave her channel down in the description below. And she sent me this beautiful card, which was so nice, as well as the stickers. And as you guys know, I absolutely adore stickers. And I will put them almost anywhere. So these are some very cute cartoony promoting stickers. But on top of all of that, she also sent a binder and some challenges of her own. I believe they're all on her Ko-Fi shop. Whether they're physical or digital, I am not sure, but they are available on her Ko-Fi shop. She sent these hand-cut scratch-offs, which I absolutely love puns on top of that too. So life is butter with friends, don't worry, be happy, turn up the beat, fry me to the moon, and dancing the salsa. These are all very cute. And these are all going to be used in what is now going to be my Buffer Bucks binder. And these are also more stickers that she sent, but I just loved them and wanted to put them on the front. So what I plan on doing with this Buffer Bucks binder is very similar to what I'm doing with my parachute fund. If you guys don't know, my parachute fund is my job replacement fund, and I am aiming to put a month's worth, well, and the end goal will be a year's worth of my income into savings. But I'm building it up month by month by putting a month worth of my income plus a buffer into savings, and I'm still building that up. However, this was a conversation that was sparked by Claudine from Foxy Finances and Yeji at the Yes Budgets. I will leave both their channels down in the description as well. As far as, you know, what a month ahead means or looks like versus rainy day savings, versus just having emergency savings, you know, just because. I do have a video where I did break down the differences within my own emergency fund that I'll leave in the description. But those conversations, and also looking up, I don't know if you guys have heard of, you guys have probably heard of it. But I was watching videos from YNAB, or You Need a Budget app, and watching those guys explain, you know, what being a month ahead means and having emergency funds and the difference between the two. I decided to take and use this binder for more so of a cushion slash buffer to my parachute fund. And what I mean by that is I had to think about, or I didn't have to, I like to think about different case scenarios and when I would and would not use certain parts of my emergency fund. Don't get me wrong, an emergency is an emergency. If I have to use other savings elsewhere that's not necessarily dedicated to it, but it's an emergency, you know, it push comes to shove, it is what it is. But in terms of this, I was like, there are many different life changes happening for me. You know, what that would look like if there was a month, say, for example, where, you know, being a caregiver, somebody has an emergency and I can't work the same amount of hours that I'm doing now, and, you know, bills still are due, would I consider that a job loss? No, because I'm still employed, I'm still working. But then that would create somewhat of a gap between what I'm making and what I need to have at that current time in order to cover my expenses. So this binder is different, or going to be different from my parachute fund, in that my parachute fund is for job replacement and set to save up a month's worth of income. The Buffer Bucks binder is set up for emergency life happenings happening while I'm still employed. And this is just to make up the gap between what I would get as income as a result of that and where I need to be. So this binder would, I guess in that scenario, I would go to this binder first, and if I have to go into my job replacement fund, I would, but I would try against doing that as much as humanly possible. Versus if it was a job loss situation, my parachute fund plus this would probably be the first, I guess, sources of money to go. I hope that made sense and how I explained that, but basically, I'm going to be using this binder to make up for potential gaps in my expenses or the cost of my expenses versus saving a month's worth of my income in a buffer. So, with all of that being explained, I'm going to pop this open real quick. And I moved my dashboard out of one of my binders into here. So my bills dashboard is in here. And these envelopes here are basically the same sections that you guys see on my budget or written out in my budget. Some of them I've condensed just for sake of stickers that came with this binder. And just added their costs together because there are some bills I enumerate on YouTube and some that I do not. So personal bills is basically my catch-all for bills that I both do and do not share here on YouTube. But it can also cover things like phone, internet. For me, things like my gym membership and things like that would be here in personal bills. Electric / gas, I do pay towards utilities where I am. But I decided to separate the two from like water, for example, because we have water and sewage that's coupled together, and then electric and gas that's coupled together, and those will vary based on the seasons. So instead of paying collectively, I just separated them, even though they're all utilities, I separated them into 2 envelopes. So here would be saving for electric and gas. Groceries, I do not include in my budget breakdown, but it's coupled under household for me. So things like groceries, toiletries, things of that nature. Excuse me, guys. This cough is still going. I don't know when it needs to quit, really. But things like that will come out of, or would be paid by this grocery envelope. Water, again, we have water and sewage I paid towards this coupled together. Miscellaneous and deposits, I decided to make this envelope as kind of like a catch-all. Again, there are some bills that are higher or come in higher than what I budget based on the season. Electric bill increases in the winter, water bill increases in the summer, things of that nature. So I wanted to put in just a miscellaneous buffer envelope just in case, or if there's a random bill I was not expecting to come up, or something that gets added or a service gets added, then money will come out of that to pay that. Insurance, this is covering all of my different types of insurance except medical. I do not, or am not including medical here in this envelope, mostly because that comes out of my check and provided through my employer. Now, if it were to become a case where I no longer had health insurance and or medical insurance, and I have been in that case scenario before, I was on our state government subsidized insurance, and my co-pays basically fluctuated based on the service and my income. So I wouldn't necessarily have a way to save for that. I have not had to go into the pool of insurance in a couple years now, so I decided not to include it in here because I don't know what the cost of that would be, or if that would be my option, or how long I would have my medical insurance through my employer if I were to lose my job, and that's a whole different case scenario. So since it's not a bill for me right now, coming out of my check, when I get it, I'm not including it in here. But insurance would be like life insurance of whatever kind, whether you have term, whole. I don't have a preference for either one, to be completely honest with you, and I'm not giving advice on that. So, but life insurance, health and medical insurance, if you need to, or it's taken out of your check in that way, or you pay for it out of your own check with premiums and whatnot. Car insurance, definitely for sure. And I decided to add one for renter's insurance. That I have or would have bundled with my car insurance, but that won't be necessary right now for the situation we have going on right now, but that could change in the future. So I am leaving some room for that and added some buffer money for that, but it would only add a couple dollars to what I'm paying now for my car insurance premium, to be honest. So I got a quote for that, and I'm just using that number to save for that in here. Then there's housing. As you know, we have shared housing at the moment. I decided to leave this in here though because I know that we don't have a mortgage associated with our home, but I basically save up for either the home insurance or the home property taxes, similar to how someone would be paying rent. So I do have envelopes for that elsewhere, as you guys have seen in my adulting binder, but I decided to put a buffer in here just in case something happens within the house, or we have a bump up situation to where a repair has to be made, for example, and if we have to finance any of that, then that would count for me as an addition to what be paying in quote unquote rent. Again, hope that makes sense, but saving anything for housing was going to be required anyway, so I went ahead and made an envelope for that, and just for right now I added up what I would pay or what my portion would be for property taxes. Now, as you guys have seen in other videos, I am now responsible for the home insurance, so, and that's more than what would be my portion of share of property taxes. So what I decided to do in this case scenario is save up towards what I'd be paying for property taxes first, and then gradually increase it to be what home insurance is expected or suspected to be, mostly because I have a whole other challenge going for home insurance right now. And even though I can have an idea what the number is, it's going to vary annually. Versus property taxes, those do shift, but they haven't shifted as much, and we don't get reassessments but every 4-ish years, 3 or 4 years, 3 to 5 years actually, in our state depending. So the number has stayed pretty consistent the past 3 to 4 years. So I just chose to go with that instead, and I can build all of these up and increase them as need permits, but for right now I'm just focusing on current numbers. Right, and I decided to make an envelope for my student loans, even though my loan amount will be going down and I don't have official payments yet, because again, we're still in this injunction. What I did is I went on my student loan servicer website, and mine are serviced through Mahila. If you go on there, click more in the drop-down menu and go to tools, you can opt to see your print-off information. Your print-off information will be what your current loan balance is, what your payments would be if it was on a 10-year standard. If you're not affected by this injunction, it'll be whatever payment plan you are on. But if you are affected by this injunction, there's not necessarily a payment calculated right now. It'll just show you what your 10-year standard repayment would be, and the date that it would restart, and how much it would be per month. And right now, even though I'm paying down on my loans, as of right now, my payment is hovering around $700 and change. So I just put $700 as the goal of this envelope, even though I know that number will be decreasing as time goes on and I continue paying on my loans. So, will I get to that $700? I don't know. I am stair-stepping all of these, so it's a one at a time situation just to add buffer. And I'm trying to buffer for at least a month. So whether or not I get there or not doesn't matter. All these numbers can be adjusted as time goes on. I've decided to basically reassess envelopes at least every year, unless I have a new bill that immediately comes up, to see where I am and see if I need to adjust any numbers. So that is a quick breakdown of this whole binder. And another thing that I have added to my budget, and you guys will see it in my budget probably during my next budget with me and cash stuffings, is that I have automated $20 to go towards my emergency fund to go into this binder. Now, there are people who prefer to have this in their checking accounts and whatever bank they have versus putting it in savings. I'm not doing this for interest rate reasons. Like, I know I can get money off of interest for it being in a high yield savings account. And since I'm not using it right now, I don't really want it sitting in my checking account because my checking account I see as ever revolving versus my savings. I do and am building up a buffer. I do have and I am building up a buffer. Sorry guys, English is not my forte today. I am building up a buffer in my checking account for quick things I would have to pay for, but I do not want this sitting in there and then that money be used for what it's not intended for. So I'll be saving this in my high yield savings account until further notice. Now, of course, if situations change and I have to take the money out, then I'll be transferring the money to my checking. But beyond that, I decided to keep this in savings until I'm trying not to need it, but until I need it for something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these envelopes out. If you guys have seen, I have attached or put in challenges in the back of all of these envelopes to basically use to mark off and play with these. These are all challenges I already had. Some of them, say for example, my student loans, I know that one's going to take the longest, really, out of all of these. So I put any minis or scratch offs I've gotten from orders, as freebies, happy mail, things of that nature. I put in here. The rest of these and these harder laminate challenges are from Danielle at Danielle Craft Studios. And some of them are the exact amounts I actually need to save in the envelope for at least a month, and some of them are not. But that's one reason I like that they're laminated, so I can just erase and keep going as I need to, or just cut them off and put new challenges in them. And this blank one I know is my miscellaneous, and I decided that I'm going to use the challenges and scratch offs I received from Alexis at Dying Outlaw Games and Budgets, mostly because these total $250, which is the exact one I'm trying to save in here. So I am just going to pick one, and I picked this Don't Worry, Be Happy. And if I do roll it, I am just going to scratch off the number and save what I need to in here. The rest of these will just be rolled. I have my 8-sided dice, also from Alexis at Dying Outlaw and Budgets. Games and Budgets, excuse me. Girl, I'm sorry if I keep messing up your name. My apologies. So yeah, we're just going to roll. And each envelope, loud car going by, each envelope get $1. Let's see, this should be 20. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Right, and I have some spicy 2s. They're not 5s, but some spicy 2s I'm just going to mix up in here. And just to let you guys know, this binder is not limited to the $20 that I'm allocating towards it to automatically come out of my account. If there's any room from either my full or part-time check, that money will also be going in here as well. So let's get started. Right, for spicy 2. And by the way, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so we have 5. There. 1. 5. This is going to be a big challenge for me because if you guys know anything about me, I am very much a fan of making executive decisions. And if I feel as though an envelope is not getting what it's supposed to, or there's one envelope being ignored, I got a 4, so I'm going to scratch off this first one. I'm just scratching off to see what the number is, guys, by the way. Will I fulfill the 7 in this? I don't know. I probably haven't. I owe you, but I'm just going to keep going. Regardless. Alright. So it's 4, 8, 2, 3, 6, and 7 are getting no love whatsoever. I'm re-rolling because that was a 4 and I'm not scratching off more than 1 at a time. So that's 6. We'll see if we can get that $7 maybe. I don't know. 3. Guys, I forgot to put the 1 down. I'm sorry. That was from the 4 earlier. 6. Come on, 2 and 7. 4. Who knows? We actually might fulfill that 7 for real. 3. And I have 3 bills left. Oh boy. I'm fighting every single urge right now, you guys, just to drop them on those last 2. Let's see. 1 and 8. Alright, so I am going to clean this up very quickly and get the binder back out, and we'll count them up. Alright, so since all of that's cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and get out dry erase marker and pen, just in case I can mark off any numbers on the challenges. Alright, so first, personal bills, and it received a total of $1, $2, $3. So I'm using this gym membership challenge savings from Danielle Craft Studios, and I can mark off the 3 on the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and put slash to that. Oh my gosh, guys. Can't even color. This is why laminate is great. Alright, marking that off. I'm not afraid to get any like marker marks on these envelopes or anything. I plan on reusing them for a very long time anyway, so I know it'll probably smear a little, and that's okay. So $3 is going in there. Also, if I didn't explain it earlier as well, why I put these note cards in here is that once I need to either condense anything in here, or take any bills out, or if I get to a month for any of these envelopes at some point, I will mark it on the back of those envelopes, take the physical cash out, and write like fully funded or something on it until I've fully funded a month of all the envelopes, and then I'll restart. So, just in case I didn't explain that earlier. Don't remember if I did. Alright, so electric and gas got $4, and I cannot mark anything on the challenge yet. Really close, but that is okay. Put these $2 in here. Alright, groceries. Did not get anything this time. Maybe next time. And now we go to water. Water. Received $2, $3, $4. And I do not have a $4 on here, but we'll keep going. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to mark off. Well, I can, since these are laminated. I can mark off the smaller numbers, and then if I build up to a bigger number, just erase it. And reallocate it. It's also an option. But we'll just keep going. Okay, the miscellaneous deposit received $3, which does not fulfill our $7 that we scratched off when we first rolled it. So we'll keep building up to the 7, and then once I build up to 7, we'll scratch off the next scratch off. Alright, so putting that in there. Insurance did not receive anything this time, and that's okay. These are all still works in progress, and again, I'm not in a big rush to get them done, but I do want to get them started. So as long as they're saving something towards emergency, then that's all that matters. Okay, housing got $3, and there is a $3 balloon on here. I originally had these for like parties and celebration savings, but then the house and the balloons remind me of the movie Up, so I decided to put it towards housing. Okay, so I'm just going to mark off 3. It's there. Fan it a little bit. And if you hear that howling, that was my neighbor's Basset Hound. She's very nice, but very boisterous about her opinions. And the weather has not been her favorite. I can tell you that right now. Alright, I have no idea why I'm struggling putting this money in here. Alright, so that's housing. And last but not least, we have student loans. And again, I'm using scratch offs I got in Happy Mail and other orders I've made previously before this year from Etsy. And I'm going to start by using this mini challenge from Floating Funds. It says, give me the drink that feeds my soul. And I decided to make each icon $2. And this time we saved $1, $2, $3. So I'm just going to use red marker and trace. That's 2, and then trace half. For $3, and I could use it again by coloring them in. So again, trying to use what I have, and this $3 will go into student loans. All right, and oops, I put the challenge in incorrectly, guys. 1 second. Want it facing outward if I can, so I don't get it mixed up and start a new challenge by accident. Alright. So that is my Buffer Bucks binder stuffing. Sorry guys, I was trying to get the background noise a little bit lower. But I thank you guys for watching. If you made this far in the video, please leave a cookie emoji down in the comment section below. If you have any suggestions or comments about this binder, any ideas, any other ways I should stuff it, I am open to it. I am basically test driving a lot of this, so if you have any suggestions or if you're doing a binder like this yourself and have any tips, I would greatly appreciate them in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a blessed night, day, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.